Hi, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. Okay, so I know it's July. I haven't lost my mind, but I did promise I would do 2 Christmas journals a month right up until the end of November. So this is the first one of July. And what I did here is I took a 1940s vintage book with a completely plain cover, but I love the red. And I covered it with vintage doily pieces here and 2 vintage buttons that match the snowman's buttons. And this is actually a 1940s Christmas card. Isn't it wonderful? This sweet little snowman, the little girl. And then I put on some matching ribbons and these vintage glass ornaments. They're very heavy glass, so they won't break. And let me take you on a little journey through the inside before I put it in my Etsy shop. Make some room here, and everything in here, every page and every insert is Christmas themed, authentic ephemera. So there's that's why it takes me so long to collect enough to make these. It's because I don't use anything but Christmas, and so I have a huge folder that I put everything in as I collect things. Like this one here, this is an American stamp vintage there with a little Christmas stamp on it. And then this is another wonderful 1940s Christmas card. You're going to see 4 of them in this journal. But look at this one, has the 3D barrel here, the little fold-out barrel. A barrel of Christmas wishes. I love it, from Mary Beth McVicker. Oh, I just love it. And I made a pocket and put this beautiful and with a little bit of value, this one here, this postcard from we're guessing it's about 1910. The research I did on it did say 1910, so it's absolutely lovely with the church and the holly, oh my gosh, and the gold embossed edges. It's really lovely. So that's pretty special. Here's a little 1930s children's book page here with snow. Look how cute that is, fun in the snow. I did some stamping there. And this is a real 1970s Holly Hobby Christmas sticker. I'm going to be doing a series of Holly Hobby themed vintage journals with authentic Holly Hobby ephemera. And I'll tell a story about that when we get there. That's coming in the next few weeks. This is a wonderful, wonderful 1930s page of a Christmas parade. You can see a Christmas fairy here and a big Santa blow-up thingy. And then we've got more Christmas fun things over here. And this is a Charles Dickens Christmas Carol illustration here. We've got Bob Cratchit and Scrooge there. And then here is a vintage doily that is embroidered around a rubber canning jar ring, and it looked like a snowflake. I'm going to use a few of these in my Christmas journals coming up. And here is another very old, it doesn't look old from the front, but it is actually a 1920s postcard. Isn't it wonderful? It's just in such white, clean condition. It did not fade, so that means that it was very good cardstock that did not have a lot of chemicals that would fade in it. That is another vintage book page there, the Christmas sleigh ride. How fun is that? And this is from a vintage Trees of America book, and it's all about pines, and we've got the pine cone family there. This is an envelope that was mailed from Buffalo on December 24th, on Christmas Eve, 1937, just at the start of World War II. And there was no letter inside it, so I added one. It's just this, I chose this little vintage bird here from my vintage bird book collection, and just because it had the red head, and that kind of reminded me of Christmas and Santa's cap. So I'm going to put that back in this very tattered envelope, but I just think it's magnificent. Little buffalo envelope there. And over here, this is from another vintage book, Christmas Story, so I turned it into a pocket. And look at this sweet little angel with her candle here, peeking out behind the candle. She's just adorable. It says, "Hello, Merry Christmas." And again, you can open these up and you can and you can journal on the inside of the vintage cards. This pocket here, I chose this book page because it says gift books at 18 pence each. So obviously an English book, but they were a big deal to get a book for Christmas. So that's why I included that one there. And this one here is from Good Housekeeping, I believe this one might even be the 1940s. But look at this great needlework and Christmas headliners. Can you see that? So the different hats that you can wear. Sorry, these are great. I would wear any one of these, and people would point and gasp, but I would do it. I think they're fantastic. And here is a wonderful postcard from 1947, just after World War II. A little boy sitting in front of his Christmas tree, opening a little present there, December 24th. I love that. More Christmas themed paper here. And this is one of the little coupon tickets I got from Paige and from Milmar Foods in Albuquerque, or near Albuquerque, I should say. And it is 25 cents. And I chose that because 25 for December 25. Another wonderful snowman page there. Kind of matches our cover here. And this is, you'll see these in every Christmas journal, because there was enough to put a strip in each one. And these are vintage stickers as well, from either the late 60s or early 70s. And they're not very sticky. I did try to use one. They're losing a bit of their stick, but you could always use them and glue them down. But how precious is that, eh? And there's a vintage stamp again from America. Nope, yep, USA. And you'll notice at the top here we've got a Christmas card. That is an antique book. And there's more 50-year-old plus vintage wrapping paper, maybe even more than 60 years old. And just another set of pine trees and needles there in a bough. And then this is really cool. This is a Canadian newspaper article, and it is from 1944, so just nearing the end of the war, but the worst part of the war. And so the soldiers would have been sent these. This is dated December 23rd. The soldiers would have been sent these, and you'll see down here, we've got some of the soldiers in Belgium and in Holland and France. And then on the other side are the pinup girls, and the soldiers would have cut those out. Here, greetings from, and put them in their tack boxes and in their pockets or wallets. Yeah, and kept them close to their heart. So I just thought that was it's a really cool piece. It's historic, and I hope somebody appreciates the history behind it, as I do. Now this is another great old postcard. It's a little battered, but that's okay. The fir tree tall with gifts for all to welcome Christmas night. Isn't that beautiful? And that is early 1900s as well. These are from the 1950s. These you're going to see these also in all of my journals. They look so pristine and brand new because the quality is so good from this book. It's called Christmas Ideals, but it is quite old. But I love, love, love the images that they share. Here's an antique music sheet from Old Lang Syne. And then here's another great vintage postcard or vintage greeting card. Again, you can journal on the inside, but I love it because they did so much detail on their cards. They often printed on the back and the front and the inside of cards. And look at that beautiful classic Christmas theme, right? Just lovely. This is just a journaling card here that was the cover of an antique book. And this is an old banknote, the back of it. And I chose it because it was red for Christmas. And here is a really fun little 1968, so very vintage, set of 4 Heart and Lung Association Christmas stamps there. You can decorate them any way you like. This is a great 1930s page here, When Santa Claus Comes, and then another poem from long, long ago about Bethlehem. Look at, this is my favorite Christmas card in this journal. I really love that Art Deco-y look. It is from the 1930s. Look at how wonderful that is. And then again, you can open it up and journal on the inside. And back here, I've got a coloring book. It was not a very good artist on this one, but it's from the 60s and it was never used. So we've got these fun little images here. You can do anything with those and just enjoy them, or you can give them out to the kids and let them color them. And then I've just fussy cut that out of that vintage wrapping paper there. And here's another one of these great, that's the back of the page with a nice little story on it, Christmas story. I hand stamped that. This is vintage pattern tissue, and I chose it again because it's red and green. This is very old, from the very early 1900s, and it's color, so it's done almost in lithograph style, and we've got that snowman there who looks like a man. And then this beautiful blue jay here. We have them all winter long where I live. And this is from 1887 again. Look at that beautiful, beautiful Christmas Eve. We've got the angels here. It's a beautiful image. Just so much going on. The children dancing around the tree that is lit up with candles. It's spectacular and a wonderful little story here. Here's another one, a visit from St. Nicholas from the 30s. And then more of this beautiful pattern paper, and I stamped that. You get a beautiful Christmas scene here. I believe that's Bethlehem. And here, this is another kind of vintage wrapping paper I have. And look at this pretty 1920s image here, the little boy in the snow on the sled with the little animals there. I just love it. Now, I wonder if you can figure out why I chose these for the Christmas journal. Because it's 25, December 25th. And this is in an 1800s Christmas Eve pocket. And then this is also the receipt for 25. Yep, I made it work. It took me a long time to find it, but I made it work. This is really cool paper. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but it's got tons of sparkle in it, which again is very surprising to me for the 1950s. I didn't even know that was something they could do, is infuse it with this beautiful glitter. Christmas Best at Home, another antique book page there. And that's on the back of a European book. And this is from 1927. I had to put an advertisement for a winter coat and hat. Big value here, big, $11.95. And this here, again, is from that same 1950s book. And it is on this beautiful glossy paper with this incredible gold ink all the way through it. It is stunning. And it's, again, it's hard to believe it's vintage, but I promise it is. And Home for Christmas story here from a vintage book, and more of that glittery paper. Keeping Christmas Our Way, that's from a vintage book. And just going in theme, you probably have already caught on to my theme here. 12, 25, that's right. I can get a bingo card into anything with a theme somehow. So I hope you love this as much as I loved making it. It's going in my shop now, hyperstamper.etsy.com. Leave me a comment if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.